There was just myself and the partner and a director in the car, which even in itself is great exposure. The performance review all at once, but no, it's great to have that level of like interaction with them. And like they have such a wealth of like knowledge and experience that you get to
have that one-on-one.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a great opportunity, even that in itself.
Want to find out what it's like to build a rewarding career with Forvis Mazars? We brought our graduates together to share what it's really like to grow, belong, and make an impact. Hear from our associates at our Graduate Roundtable. Hello and welcome to the Graduate Roundtable. My name is Aisling. Welcome everyone and thanks for taking part. Just to start off, what surprised you all most about the graduate programme at Forvis Mazars?
I think for me anyway, one of the standout surprises was definitely the level of client interaction that we had right from the start. I think I was under the impression that we'd be stuck doing paperwork or repetitive tasks for a long time before we actually got brought along to meetings or got involved in actual client work. So to be doing that right from the get-go was definitely a standout surprise.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that point. And I also think I was quite surprised by the amount of people from different university backgrounds and even just different career paths before they came into the firm. I thought it would be all accounting, but it's actually not like that at all. I don't know if you find the same.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because like I came from a business background, so going into like an accounting company, I didn't know if I'd like need a bit more extra time to adjust to the way things work in the place. But then I realized that like a lot of other people either have business backgrounds or like other things like engineering and stuff. So yeah, it was definitely a big surprise for me.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I actually started off in engineering, so I have a degree in engineering, and then came across then to tax, which was really good because I have a lot of transferable skills from my engineering days. So something like Excel. So when I first came in to start, I think it's the second week in, one of the directors actually had an Excel problem and I fixed it for her, and she was just like telling the whole rest of the office then, like, and I'm like the Excel guru of the office. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's really good to give that transferable skill over.
Do you guys find that you can work directly with partners?
Find it quite easy to go into partners or directors or different level of senior management and ask them if I have a question, which I thought would be quite daunting at the start, but they've definitely encouraged that question asking culture and don't make you feel like there's any such thing as a stupid question.
Would you be going into them like day to day, like every day?
Yeah, definitely. We'd be popping into them 2 or 3 times a day, asking them questions or just giving them a ring on the phone.
Yeah. Mine would be the same, because like if I have a problem, I just go in like every 2 minutes. It's like even though they're all obviously incredibly busy, you'd be like, yeah, no problem, and he deals with it, and then you're kind of gone again. So
yeah, they're definitely very good at taking time and like investing in you, and you feel as though they will have no problem setting aside time, and like if you have questions that they need to explain anything to, it won't just be brushed by.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even in mine, like the senior managers in ours sit across from us. So they're out on the floor with us. So it's never awkward to like ask a question or you don't feel uncomfortable. I feel like they're just so open to any questions. And
No, it's definitely different, because like when I was in college, I was watching Suits to keep me busy. And like, obviously when you watch that, like there's a bit of a separation between the partners and the associates. So like being able to, I guess, experience that at Forvis Mazars, it's definitely different, and I think it's great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, good exposure.
What area do you feel like you've grown the most?
I think in terms of my communication, I think I've definitely improved a lot there. Like when I started, it was a little tricky being able to communicate to, let's say, a director how far I was with my work. Like if I was a little behind schedule and like there was a genuine reason for it, I'd just tell them that I'll get it done a little later, but I don't actually communicate what the issue is. But I feel like I've definitely improved there.
I think similar to that, like communicating if you're going to be struggling to get something done, I would be like, oh no, it'll be fine, I'll have it done. And even if it meant staying maybe a half an hour later, which obviously they don't want at all, especially in my department, they don't want that. They'd rather you tell them it won't be done.
Yeah, and I feel like as well, going back to what I was saying with the amount of client interaction that you have from the start, you're almost forced into that, not forced into communication, but it definitely throws you in the deep end in terms of like you almost, and I think other people might find it that when you start to like lead calls as well, that it really pushes you outside that comfort zone and you have to act on those skills that you've learned over the last.
Yeah, I had the same with the client calls actually, because when you first start, like you're there with like your assistant manager who's on the call with you, but once you actually you're one-on-one with the client and you're going through the whole kind of process or tax process by yourself really gives you a bit of like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've had to step outside your comfort zone at all?
Yeah, I definitely think I have anyway. I know my first few months I got an opportunity to go on a secondment, which definitely pushed me outside my comfort zone. So yeah.
So like I work in tax, so like what actually is a secondment? Like?
Oh yeah, sorry. I actually didn't know what a secondment was myself 12 months ago when I was in university. But it's essentially I'm outsourcing, so the company outsources our firm and we work in their accounting department.
And did you find that when you were working in another company, like would you be learning off like more your seniors, or would you be learning off the people from the other firm as well?
Well, see, our seniors actually don't go, so it's really it's quite independent. Like it was me and another associate, but it was definitely a great experience, and even like the confidence I've built from that has been amazing.
So paint a picture of the busiest day.
I'd say my busiest day consists of a lot of client meetings and maybe a bit of work on the side as well.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I think in our department too, we do like site visits quite often. So we might go and visit. They could have an office in Cork, or they could have an office in Galway. So there's been different times where we would hit the road at 7 a.m. and have to have prepped for it the day before. And then we might spend the day travelling, do a 2-hour 3 meeting down there and then travel back.
How do you actually travel down?
So we tend to drive down. So even I know the one that we had to Galway, there was just myself and the partner and a director in the car, which even in itself is great exposure. The performance review all at once. But no, it's great to have that level of like interaction with them. And like they've such a wealth of like knowledge and experience that you get to
have that one-on-one.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a great opportunity, even that in itself.
What kind of opportunities are you given outside your team in the firm?
I think Forvis Mazars has a lot of like communities that you can become a part of. So I know for myself, I joined the CSO committee, which is corporate social responsibility, which was a great way for me to interact with people in different departments because my department itself is quite small. So it was a great way to get to know people that I would never probably otherwise run into. We do a lot of events in aid of different charities or community outreach programs. At the start of this year, we had a reading buddy program and I got to help organise it. So it was basically where volunteers in Forvis Mazars were paired with primary level kids across the country and just we assisted them with reading at half-hour slots a couple of times a week.
So do you get to see people like yourself represented at higher levels in the firm?
I think definitely. I know in our department, our partner's been in the company for 12 years. So she started as an associate, did her exams with the firm and is now a partner. So I definitely think that carves such a clear career path that I could possibly take on myself, and that there's so much opportunities in the firm to go that far and actually start at our level and then end up as partner.
It's great to see that, isn't it, when they've started at like ACA level and like gone up the whole way through and now they might be a partner now, because I know for me, like the tax partner, as I said, he's from Mayo, so it's great to see that that career progression is kind of there and like kind of could set out a future plan for yourself. Yeah,
definitely. And even I know, to add to that, in our department there's people that have moved from like audit over to outsourcing after they've qualified, so it's nice to see that there is opportunities to move into other departments. Say if you did tire in the department you're in, at least you can see a career path for you in Forvis Mazars. And even obviously because it's global, there's just so much opportunities to stay in the firm but to progress so far.
What's the moment that you realised I can actually do this?
I know in our team we have a business origination section to it where we're tasked with, and it can be any level, so it can be graduates or higher, going out and finding companies that you think would be an interesting target. And recently I actually found a company that we reached out to and they met us for a cup of coffee and now we've engaged them as a client.
That's very cool. Did you get to work then obviously on the client after you'd got it?
So we're still working on that client at the moment. So I'm a member on that team, which is great because you get to kind of almost be rewarded for the work that you put in at the start.
Like fully see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the senior management are great at doing that too. They're like, if you kind of did that, then you can get to see the next stage and get to see it progress all the way until closing. And that gives you that kind of full circle moment where you're like, okay, that's a client that I found and we worked through it the whole time and now it's closed. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
You must feel like you have a special like connection with the client because like you kind of put them in and like
exactly.
follow
Yeah, you definitely feel a sense of achievement there, 100%.
Thanks everyone, that was a really good insight. One more question to wrap up. What's one piece of advice that you would give to a new grad coming in?
I think mine would definitely be to ask as many questions as possible. Just put your hand up and say, oh sorry, like I'm not sure, I don't know that.
Similarly to that, putting yourself out there in terms of social events, like definitely put yourself out there, get to know other people, go to the events that the firm's hosting, because you're never going to meet other people unless you do that.
Yeah, for me, my biggest piece of advice would be to take notes on everything that you hear, whether it's an acronym, anything that the manager tells you. It goes back to what Kate was saying about asking questions. Like it makes things much easier for the managers if you just write down whatever they say in response to your questions.
Yeah, the note take is actually a brilliant point. If you're on a client call or a client meeting, do the minutes of the meeting, so that way you're actively listening. Then you can go back to the manager. What does this mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, and there's definitely that as well, where you might think at the time that, oh, that's something I'll remember. But when you have 5 or 6 client meetings in a day and somebody asks you something that happened at the first client meeting, you're like, oh God, I can't remember it all. It's just a good piece of advice to take notes, even on things that you're like, oh, I'll remember that in a few days, because you might not.
Like you have that store of value to come back to.
Exactly,
Like,
it's not going to be wasted.
That's really, really good advice. And thanks everyone for all the tips and advice. And thanks for tuning in to our Graduate Roundtable. Apply today. Find out what it's like to have a career where you can grow, belong, and make an impact.